Hey guys, can you hear me? All right, so I will bring a cup of water and then we will start. All right. We're gonna start now. If you cannot hear me or you cannot see our video, please let me know. Okay, like every week, we will go back to the website called Repair It. So you need to go repair it. And I'm gonna copy it because I log in the Repair It and I want you to go to the same website. If you are not, and you should. You should go to this URL called Repair It. So I'm going to put it in Python 3, in Repair It language Python 3. And at the meantime, I'm going to bring up the w3schools.com and I go to Python. Under the tutorials, you go learn Python. And today we are going to learn a loop. It's called while loops. So what is called while loops? It's just like so the first one is Python loops, and we are going to learn the first one called while loops. And we did learn variables. So variables is just like a pocket or a box. You put things inside, and then you can open the box and read the box and see what's inside the box. Like for example, you put John into the box called Y, and let's say Y is a variable, so that's why you put John into a box, and if you want to see what's inside the box, you can use print function to print it out. So you have John and put it into the box. And we also learned a string last week, and we have the string, and we try to slice the string. Like for example, if I go to get the string, I want to get LO, just LO from the hello. So you got to count. So you count from the index 0, from the start 0, 1, 2, 3. So that is the position 3. And you continue to count 4, 5. So between 3 and 5, and you can get LO from hello. So that's the trick we need to do with our homework. So I'm going to demo some homework from some of you guys. Like, let's see. I have Matthew here. Matthew's homework is like I copied and pasted his homework. So in his homework, and we try to input a phone number, and you are going to tell me this phone number is calling from which city. For example, for Edmonton, if it starts from 780 or is from 587, and we said that is calling from Edmonton. If it's calling from Vancouver, so Vancouver obviously they have 4 area code here, and if it's calling from 604 or 778 and 250 or 236, they all should come from Vancouver. And also we have here is from Calgary, but I just didn't realize that we have 587 also from Calgary, which make this program maybe a little bit harder. We also have David here, and David sent me another solution, and his one is like a long one, so I'm gonna copy it and paste here. Okay, so that's the homework from David, and what he did is like he's going to do something called try. We haven't learned this yet, and what this do is just basically you put everything inside the try box, the code block, and in here, and if something happen, like for example, if something just causing the problem, like for example, like last week we put a letter and try to convert them to the integer, it will causing some problem, right? And in that case, if you have something called try, and if you go if it has the error, it will go all the way to the except, and you just jump over here. But if you doesn't know this syntax, really doesn't matter, because we will cover this later. And let's see what he did here. He said if the phone number is greater than 12, he said the phone number is too long. If less than 12, and he said the phone number is too short. So which means the phone number have to be 12 numbers. So if it is 12 numbers, and he will check if the first 3 numbers or digits, if it is 780 or 587, is from Edmonton. And so I saw he covered Vancouver, Calgary, Ottawa, and Toronto, and also have Montreal. So which is good, because we almost covered the whole Canada for all the area code. And yeah, he also very good at this point. Like he used something called if. And what's if means? It means like if this condition, for this condition, if it is true, and then we will do this to print it. Otherwise, it will come to the next one, if, and it will do phone, and do this expression. And if this one is true, it will go print, and we will go all the way to the end. But otherwise, it will just continue to jump to the next if, and continue to jump next if, and until the last one, else. And if nothing is matched the condition up there, and we will go to print invalid error. So yeah, I want you to do this homework because I want you to learn how to use if and how to evaluate the from the substring to a digit. I mean to a character. But here is David didn't convert it to the digit, so we just evaluate the string 780, something like this. And also, you don't have to have the parentheses because in Python usually you can just do without the parentheses, unless you have something like more condition, like for example, like you need a parenthesis only in this case, and you want this one, the whole one, and match with and phone number is something like, for example, like 03 equal to let's say just 1 equal to 6, something like this. So yeah, if you continue to add more condition and you want this one to be the whole expression, and then you can have the parentheses and make them to force them to be to evaluate this block first. But I'm not going to cover this anymore. But in later we will have more practice on this. How could we do more than 2? Like here we have two evaluation, and one is here and the other one is here. But we are going to have more practice to do more. Okay, so just send me your homework if you finish it, and when you have time, no matter is last week's homework or this week's homework. Okay, so, but today we are going to do the while loop. So we jump all the way down here to do the while loop. So what is while loops do? And you can imagine like this. You have a circle, like I bring up let's say sun, earth, image. All right, so let me bring up this one. Imagine that you have a sun, right? So we know the earth is just turning around and around and around the sun. So every round when you turn around, it's just 1 year. It's just 1 year. So that is called a loop. So you have beginning and then you have an end. So it's called one loop. Or you can thinking like you can jump in the row. Like in YouTube, you can like jump loop. Like for example, this guy, you can see it just keep jumping the row. So you know the same thing like here. We have the while loop, and it just keep jumping, and one round and the other round and the other round. Okay, so the first thing today we are going to do is like we're going to make something to the loop. We use while loop. So you are going to do like while something is true here. If it is true, and then you continue to do a block, a code block under here. So let's say I define a variable here, like let's say just like a day. Okay, a day. Day is from let's say from day 1. Okay, and now if day is less and equal to 365 days in a year, and it just keep doing this. and we will output print I am happy in day, and now you press in the day. But because the day is integer, so that's why I just convert it to a string. Okay, make sure there's a double parenthesis here, because one parenthesis is for the string built-in function string. And after you do this, and your day just go +1. You can do day +1. +1. Okay, you can do day +1. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to click the run button, and you will see from the first day 1 and go all the way to 365, which is 1 year. So that's the for life code. I want you to finish in 5 minutes, and I want you to show to test your code, see if it can show you 365 days a year. Like maybe you cannot see this. Hold on 1 second. And then in this while loop, you should have every day you are very happy, and in 365 days. Okay, so I want you to do this coding in 5 minutes. Once you are done, please let me know, and just put a message into the chat box, and after that I can move forward. All right, so I think most of you guys have been done, and I just Tom just told me, oh, there's another way to add one to the day, because you know why you can add one to a day. You just do day add one. For example, now you have a day equal to one, and in this loop, and day is one, so 1 plus 1 equal to 2. And from line 4 you jump back to the line 2, this here, and it just like in this picture, in this picture, it just like this earth. You go a second round, in the second round, and this day will add 1 day. Okay, it just adding 1 days, 2 days, 3 days, keep adding to that. It's a loop, and jumping and jumping and jumping. And there's a trick here. If you want to add, and Tom just told me in a comment, he said, hey, I can do this. It's just a shortcut, like you don't want to have the day and put it here, and you just do plus and equal. So in Python, there's a lot of combination with this symbol. Like this one is just means if you do plus equal, it just means day equal to day plus 1. Okay, so you can give it a try, but you have to put a plus here, and it will do the same thing, and just have 365, and this day keep increasing by 1, and every 1. All right, and you can also say, hey, can I change this 1 to 7, because it just have 1 week, right? So you can change 1 to 7, and in this day you change to week, and now you got less, and you would have probably have something like this. That's weird, because I already changed to week. Yeah, here we go. So you will have the week instead of day. And also, if you still remember that, and you can do a percentage like D, and now here you do put percentage here, and you remove the str function, the string function, to convert it, and you can have this day integer and put it in to fill up this block, these two character. So it's just like if you use percentage and you put this day in here, you just replace it, and I can run it again, and you probably know, see, it will do the same thing, right? But probably in here you want to say I'm happy in week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of 1, 7. I'm gonna show you it. Let me show you what happened here, because it will jump errors 1, 8, 15, 22, 29, and I don't want to do that. I want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So how am I going to do that? And we might probably need to convert this day into the number of times for the 7, right? You got what I'm saying? If it is 8, and I want it to be 2. If it's 15, I want it to be 3. If it's 22, I want it to be 4, because it's week 4. So can you guys figure out how to do that? Like I want this day turn into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And instead of doing 1, 8, 15, 22, 29, because it doesn't make sense, right? I'm happy in week 29. It doesn't make sense. So if you want to, like for example, we have the first one is day 1, which is good, and the second one is 8, and I want it to be 2. So how are we going to do that? In Python, you can do this, like for example, we have a week here, a variable called week, and now you have the day, divide by 7, and let's see what happened. If you divide by 7, and we will have something like this. Let me just clear this. I'm not sure why it just keep showing on here, and let me just clear. I click this button, clear, and now I run it again. So I will have still have 1, 8, 15, 22, 29, but I changed this day to a week. And let's see again, and I clear the message here and click run. Now I will have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like this. I'm happy in week this 52, and I want to start from 0, and that's why you should press 1 here. Now you would get I'm happy in week. Oh, let me clear this and run it again. And now I will start from the week 1 and all the way going to week 53. All right, so let's just see what we change here. So the first thing we change, we should have day equal to day plus 7. And we call assign, if it's a single equal, we call assign, we assign day plus 7, because 1 week is 7, right? And but just Tom told me you can do the shortcut like this, and day just plus equal to 7. They're actually doing the same thing. And every time when we add 1 day, we add 1 week, and then this day we change, and we want to change this day, like convert the day into the week. So we do a math here. We just like say use the day to divide by 7, divide, use the /, and you press 1, and now you get week. So that's why I get the result is called I'm happy in week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to 53. And I want you to change this code a little bit, and I want to show from week 1 to all the way to week 53. And you probably need to change here as well, because we use the percentage to show the week, and I didn't use the built-in function called string str to convert it to the string. And now you can directly put a integer and put it into this sentence. All right, so I want you to change this. I will give you like 3 minutes, and I'm going to move forward to the next example. And if you have any question, just leave a message on the chat box. So I'm going to explain to you. All right, so what David have a question. He's saying, what's this percentage do? It's just like if you want to fill up this format, we call format, we want to fill, like for example, I want to put something in the middle of my sentence. Like this one, I want to put the width in here, inside here. So I want this string to format. So we use the percentage and we call format. And we use this one to fill in here, A percentage D and is for the, I guess is for decimal, is like for the numbers. If is percentage S, it is for the string. And Eric said, is it 5% to equal to 1? In that case, the percentage is for like it is for mathematical calculation. Is another meaning. So if it is on the number, is for another meaning. I'm gonna show you both, and after everyone just finish this code. All right, so I think most of you guys have been done because it's pretty easy. It's just to have a variable called day, and if the initial value is equal to 1, and we keep increasing this day, and now we can show something in the whole year. And but we also want to know in which week, so that's why we do a small calculation, and we use a day to divide by 7. And now I press 1, and now I can get the week. But in the while loop, you should always, not always, but you have better to have the increase this day. So eventually it will over 365. Otherwise, your loop will become a while loop, infinite loop, or we said is a dead loop. it just keep looping forever. It's never end. So if I change this, like if I comment out this here, and let's see what happened. You can comment out the day plus equal to 7, and let's try. And let me clear this first. And I just see my, if you can see my screen over here. Yeah, I guess Repel is just very not happy with me because I just using the resources to keep looping and looping and looping. Okay, but that is not good, so that's why I'm stopping. And I want you to give it a try, but don't do too long. Just remember to stop it, but otherwise you will crash the Repel it. Yeah, you can comment this one out so your date never increase and you just kind of looping forever. All right, so yeah, I am going to use the show you guys how to use the percentage, like the percentage, right? If you have like for example, let's see, is 4 percentage 2, and what will be the answer? 4 percentage 2, what will be the answer? It would be probably 0. Yeah, it's 0. But if it is 3, and it would be 1. And if it is 5, oopsie, it would be 1. If it is 6, it would be 0. So what is this percentage means in here? Like if you have 1 number here and 2 number here, the second number here. So percentage is called remainder. So what does it mean? It means like if you are good at math, not like me, I'm not good at math, and you will do 4 divided by 2, and you will equal to 2, and there's no remainder. The remainder is 0. Okay, it's 0 like this. But if you are 5 divided by 2, you should have 2.5, right? But if it is just for the integer, you still have 2, but you have 1 left, like 1 left. So for example, you have 5 apples, and you have 2 people, and both of them can get 2 apples, and you have 1 remain. So that's called remainder. And now you continue to do that. 6 divided by 2 equal to 3, and that's why you got 0 again. And we will do 7 divided by 2 equal to 3, and now you still get 1. And if I continue doing like this, you will see if I divide by 2, you will get the remainder either 0 or 1. 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. You will find this pattern if you do a lot, like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, something like this. You just keep increasing. But if you change the divider from 2 to 3, like 3, then what will happen? And if 4 divided by 3, so you have 4 apple, and so everyone just get 1 apple, and now of course you have 1 left. And for this one, same, but you have 2. On this one, you have everyone got 2 apples, and it's 0. And for this one, it should be 2, and now you got how many you got? 1. And this one should be 2. So eventually you figure out, oh, you get the remainder is like 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, something like this. Okay, so hopefully you can find this pattern. And now I may just use the computer to do that since my math is not that good. So I will do just 4 remain 2, and you got 0, right? 4 remain 5, do 2 in. I'm going to just copy it and paste and speed it up because no one wants to watch me how to do that. So I am just like doing crazy fast. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just like show you, like they all keep in the same thing, like 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1. If you have a while loop like we just learned, and we can test it out, like if you go back to our while loop, let's say I have a while loop. Now you got the what does it mean with this percentage, right? Now if you have while loop, like while, oops, I got to have something to start, right? Let's say I have count equal to 1, and now what you need to do is saying count is less than, let's say 1,000, okay, 1,000, or you can do 10,000, but don't do that like that big. And now you just print, you said the count is percentage 2, and let's see what happened. And of course your count should be increased 1, and you will see all this remainder what happened here. Let's see, try. I'm going to do 1 2 3. Oh, that's fast. If there is 1,000, is fast. It's faster than what I think. And let me just do 10,000, 100,000. Yeah, I guess the Repel is not happy with what I did because the number is big. It's 10,000. It just keep pumping you the 1 and 0, 0, 1 and 0. And how about you change the divided from 2 to 3 and see what happens. So you would have 1 2 0 1 2 0, something like this, and you keep changing it to 7, something like this, and you will see, oh, it just repeat 0 1 2 3 4 5 6, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6, something like this. You keep changing this pattern again and again. Yeah, I just give you a little bit time, and you can just experiment, do experiment on this do experiment on this small piece of code. And once you're done, let me know, and I can continue for the homework. Here's my Zoom. I haven't tell you the homework, so no worry about that. And you can do some experiment and how this percentage work with the number. All right, I think you guys have finished your experiment, and you can change the 100,000 to 1,000 or 10, and you can see how this loop while loop do. You just keep looping, but don't forget you have to increase the count. Otherwise, this one you won't hit this condition, and your program just keep infinity loop and forever, and doesn't. This website is not happy with you if you're doing like that all the time. So yeah, now I'm going to show you another thing. It's called a time. So why do we need a time? And in the while loop, like for example, if it is not let's say we are jumping the row. We're jumping the row. You do the count. We're jumping the row. So every time you jump once, and I'm going to count 1. Okay, and I just show I just saying I jump times, something like this. Okay, so you have count, and now you are going to output something like this count. We fill up the percentage D here, and it will show you I jump how many times. And if I run this one, and it will show you I just keep jumping like 10,000 times, right? You just keep jumping and very fast. But that obviously doesn't make sense because you're not jumping that fast. You should jump like every, let's say you jump every 2 seconds, and you jump every 2 seconds. So how am I going to let my jump is like every time is 2 seconds? And we need something called time. So first thing you need to do, you got to import time. Okay, we do import. We import this package. We call this package, or you can say this library. And you just import the library here, import the type, and we use this library. And every time when I jump, it take me 2 seconds. Okay, because we use time dot sleep 2 seconds, which means you will make your computer, your program will sleep like just do nothing and wait for 2 seconds. And now every 2 seconds you jump, okay? After you are done, after you are done, you say, I'm done. I am done. Okay, I'm done. So I'm gonna show you. Let's just not jump 100,000. I'm gonna jump just 10 times or just 9 times because I'm gonna show you like this. So I'm gonna run it. Oopsie, I have to clear this. So I just keep jumping, but this time is a lot slower because every jump it took 2 seconds. You see, oh, I'm done. Yeah, let me clear this one and jump it again. And you are going to jump 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, something like this. Okay, so for most of you guys, you can finish this code and just send your code to my email address. My email address is called help@dataera.ca. You send to this one. Okay, that's my email address. If you finish this code and send it to me, right? And if you still have time, like this evening, you already finished this code. What I want you to do is like, how about this? I want to jump like I don't know. You do jump in a row like this. Sometimes I can jump left, and sometimes I can jump right. So if the count is 1, I will jump left. If the count is 2, and I will jump right. I mean, use your left foot or right foot to jump. So that's what I want you to do. Just inside this while loop, and you are gonna show me, and in every jump, like for example, I jump 100 times. So how are you going to jump? I'm jumping. So let's change this one. You're saying I'm jumping with the 8 times with my left foot or right foot. So if it is 1 time, if the count is 1, you should jump on your left foot. If the count is right, you should jump on your right foot. So if you have time, you can help me to make this program. And if you know the answer, please send it to me because I can demo next week. All right. But if you don't have time, you just finish this code and send it to me to help@dataera.ca. Yeah, I'm happy to have you to finish this homework and send it to me. And now I have 5 minutes left. I'm going to turn on my Zoom, and if you have any question, you can call me from the Zoom. And I'm going to tell you the homework again. And you're going to just finish this code. For most of you guys, you can finish this code and send it to me. And if you still have some interest to improve this program, and I want you to do this, like if the count is in odd, like in 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, something like this. I want you to show I'm jumping on number of times with my left foot or my right foot. If the count is even, and you should show me you're jumping on your right foot. Okay. All right, so yeah, I think that's it for today. Again, if you have any question, you can join my Zoom, and I am going to answer all the questions you have. My Zoom is that's my Zoom. Okay, and the password is 68. All right, for the junior level, we are going to start very soon, and we'll go back to our questions. Okay, you pull out what we left last time. So last week I sent you the some script is how to solve the problem in for the question J5. So I sent Ali's solution. It just works fine, works good. And also I have one. It's also good. And I try to use the recursive one. It just I guess you can get 11 or 11 points, something like this. But there's some problem with this because the Python doesn't support the recursive function. The recursive is not able to do over 1,000 levels. Yeah, for the basic level, don't worry about the homework. I'm going to send you through the WeChat from your dad or your mom, okay? So they will show you, okay? Now let's just do something first. We are going to do today. We are going to do something called prime number. So what is called prime number? Let's just do Google it. Prime numbers. So I'm going to open this first. So first, I'm gonna see if we can find some. I give you a number, like for example 35, and your program can tell me it is a prime number or not. So what is called prime numbers? So probably you already learned it from math. In math, let me see if there's some definition or not. So from Wikipedia, if a prime number, which means you cannot have except a 1 or itself to be divided. You can divide by the rest of them. I think hopefully you guys understand this. So which is called prime number. So we have a lot of prime number, and I just show you in the picture like this one. If is for example, if it's 2, and 2 only can be divided by 1 or 2. If it's 3, and you can have 1 and 3. And if it's 4, and you can divide by 4 by 4, 2 by 2. If it's 5, you might have only 1 and 5 can divide by 5. If 6, you can do 2 by 3. So that's why 6 is not a prime numbers. And now you have 7. 7 also the prime numbers, which means how could it, in the Python, how could you do is prime number or not? So if I give you one number, and let's try if we can solve this problem first, and while we are waiting for the other friends. So like Eric said, is if it is 460, obviously is not a prime number because it's divided by 2, so it's not 1 or itself. So for example, I give you 97. How could you prove that 97 is not divided by 1 or something else? So that could be a little bit interesting, right? So you can think about how to solve this problem for a minute, and we can, while I am pulling up my PyCharm. If you have a PyCharm, you can use PyCharm. So that's what I'm going to do. And after this, we will come back for the question 5. And after we finish question 5, I want to show you something like called Panda 3D. I try to find something fun for this class. It's called Panda 3D. So maybe it is also my first time to use this one. It looks like it's a game engine for 3D game engine, which can work with the Python. So we will go through this, and I will try to set it up. And when you have time at home, you can also set it up And after that, I will ask you or your parents if you guys like this or not. And then if you like it, and we will do this. Okay. And yeah, of course, we will go through the question J5. So I just give you some heads up, and we might want to use these 3D engines and see how it works. And probably you guys can build a game with it. Right, so it's called Panda 3D. All right, so first, I want to solve the problem is called prime numbers before we going back to the J5, because J5 is kind of boring. So if I give you a number, for example, is 25, how could you know is except 1 it can be divided by 1, you can only divide by 1 or itself. So how am I going to do that? So obviously the very obvious is like you try from number 2 all the way to 34, right? And probably you don't need to try all the way to 34. If any one of them can be divided by 30, can be divided 35, and which means it's not a prime number. So I am going to pull up the PyCharm. So here's my PyCharm. And again, I'm going to create a new file called py.py. And whoever doesn't have the PyCharm, you can still go with the repair it, using the repair it to do this kind of thing. So first, so we have we want to, for example, I have a number like saying number equal to 35. So how am I to know this 35 is a prime number or not? So my strategy is like I'm going to always divide the 35 with from 2 to 34. Okay, so from 2 to 34. So that's what I'm going to do. I use let's see, is I in range. So you can do 35, but you want it to start from 2. Okay, and now you want to always to do divide, but you want the remainder to be 0. Okay, so let me just print this one, make sure it's working fine. So what I'm going to do is just like again and click the run, choose the run, and choose oh, where's my prime? Okay, let me save this, click run, and here we go, and I run. So if you start from 2 all the way to going to 35, hopefully you guys can see that. Okay, I'll do this. So from 2 to 34, right? So I will try. Every time you will do if number divided by I, if equal to 0. If equal to 0, which means you don't have remainder, and you will saying print it is a prime number. And of course you don't want to continue because you already found one, and that's why we use break in Python. So you can break this loop, and now your program should work like this. So what I'm going to do, just run it again, and it's saying, oops, oh, it's not a prime number, sorry. If it is can divide, it is not a prime number. It's not a prime number. So what I'm going to do is just like it show you it's not a prime number. So for the 35, you can just put it for n like this. So now you can do something like this, and of course you can just like have an input. So input, and now let's see, I will run, and I will put 1097, and it's saying something wrong because I didn't convert it to the integer. So what I'm going to do is just convert them to the integer. I click it, and 1097, and doesn't say anything, which means it is not a prime number. It is a prime number. It is, so how am I going to do that? Like if it is a prime number, so maybe I just keep a fret here, set a fret is prime equal to false, and now you remove this one, and is prime equal to true. So you said if is prime and print else is a prime number. Now I should finish this, and I'm going to do a test. Run 1097. So it's saying it's a prime number. If let me try 98. So it would be, it's not a prime number, obviously, because you can divide by 2, right? So let's just finish this code and give yourself a warm up, and now we can go back to the J file. And once you're done with this code, and just let me know and put a message in the chat box, so we can move forward and with the J file. At the meantime, I'm going to refill my water, and I will be right back. And don't forget to put a message if you're done, and so I can know we should move forward. For anyone, if you're thinking that doesn't have the input because you didn't running the file, this file, the private file, you can check this here, this checkbox. If it's not the same file name like you are running, which means you are not running this file. So that's why I suggest you to click on the run and you choose run. And now you can choose the file you are going to run. Otherwise, you are not running this file. So that's why there's no input. Just make sure that. And which is quite annoying with the PyCharm. But if you are good at the shortcut, like you remember the shortcut like this one is Control-Shift-R, and you can run it directly. But yeah, I'm gonna show you just like in Windows, properly control also do the same thing, just Control-Shift-R, and you can run directly for this file. Otherwise, you have to go to the menu. And the second time, you can click Control-R, and you will run this file. Alright, I think most of you guys have finished this one, and I'm pretty sure if you're good at math, you will understand you don't really have to divide all the way from like for example, if the number is 35, you don't have to all the way go to the 35. You can go just half of this. You know what I mean? Half of this, like half of this, half of this. You cannot go half of this. Yeah, obviously, if you're good at math, you can think about why we can do half of it. Like for example, you can go 2 to 17. If it is 2 to 17, and that's enough, instead of going all the way to 34, right? If your input is 35, and you can think about that, and so your program can do a lot faster because it's half time of the original running speed. Okay, you can try this. And now we need to go back to the whatever we left here. So let's just go back to the J file. And I believe you guys should go to see what Ali did here and try to understand that. If you have any question, just let me know, and I will try to explain to you. And what I try to do here is try to do an easy way. It's really easy for you. And as long as you understand this solution, and now you can go back with Ali's version, my version, or this recursive version. But I'm going to do the same recursive version here. And although it's not completely solve the problem, but we still can get 13 points out of 15, something like this. Okay. Yeah. Let's see what we left last week. So we have some input. Let's just change the input to inputs. I don't want to have input because input is like the built-in function input. It's easy to misunderstand these inputs. Okay. So I just changed input to inputs. And if you it doesn't have this this code, you can go to my this repository, and you can grab the code and copy to your PyCharm. So I just put the link here, and if you still doesn't have the code, you can come to this link in the chat box and copy the whole things and put it into your PyCharm, And now you can we can start from there. So what we left last week is like I pull up this question. So for example, we have the sample input here. We start from 3. So I have Aaron and to show you how to do from backward from the last one, and you jump back, and that is the best way, because you jump back, you don't have to do a lot of calculation. You can skip a lot. But what I do here is show you the normal way we jump from the beginning. So like for example, if we have a 3x4 room here, this room, and inside there's like 12 shells in this room. In the first shell is like 3, and because 3 is can be divided by 1 by 3 and 3 by 1, and that's why you can jump from here to this position, number A, and also this position. It could be this one or it could be this one. And again, if A is it could be from 2. Obviously, it can be 1 by 8, but we don't have 1 by 8 or 8 by 1, and it's out of our room. So there's not is 1 by 8. So it could be 2 by 4. So 2 by 4 is like the second row, and 2 by 4 is here. Or 4 by 2. Yeah, 4 by 2. So you 4 by 2, because 4 by 2 is like out of here, so it's supposed to be here, but we only have 3 rows, so that's why we don't jump over here, this cell. So we can jump 12, and at the meantime, if you jump 6 this route, and you can continue. But if I'm here is 12 here, and 12 could be 3 by 4. So it could be 2 by 6, but it's no 2 by 6 here. So that's why it's 3 by 4. So it's 3 by 4, and that's how I jump to the 9. That is good because you can jump from 3 to 9. And that's the normal way we go forward instead of backward. But you can think about how to go backward, like what Ali did. Now let's try to solve the problem now. So I just go back to where we left last week. So we have first we build up tables. What these tables do is just like in this table I just have 3 by 4 tables, and have all the values. Like for example, for the first one is 1 by 1 is 1, 1 by 2 is 2, and 1 by 3 is 3, and 1 by 4 is 4. And now the second one is 2 by 1 is 2, and 2 by 2 is 4, something like this. So you got what I mean, right? So you just get all the answers. And now if you look up like for example 3, and you can immediately look up to know where you should jump. So I may just print the tables here. You will understand what I'm talking about. If I do print here, now I use something called dictionary. So table is a dictionary. The reason I use dictionary is because it's look up fast. Because like for example, the first cell I have 3, and then I will come over here, and who could be have the value 3, because in row 1 and column 3 it could be 3. Also, it's 3 by 1 is also 3. Like if 12 is 3 by 4, something like this. So if as long as I look up this dictionary, and I will know I can jump to which cell, like the next function here, like find the next step. If you want to know the key, I mean the value, like this key, and now you can get your next what's the next step you can jump. Okay. Now let's just try to solve the problem, and we have something called solve. So we define a function called solve. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't have the code, and you just go to my repository and grab the code right from here. Okay, again, and I'm gonna define a function. So let's just call solve, and obviously it's from 1 to 1, right? So but since I'm going to use the something called recursive, and that's how I do the 2 arguments. So the first argument R is stand for row, like row, or you can do just row, or columns. So I just use R and C, and now you can do a lot of things here. I may just pass, and you can use pass and without doing anything in Python. So I will have this one, like if solve, I copy from solve from 1 to 1. So it's the first shell, which is should be 3 in this case. If there is the solve, if this function return true, and I should print yes. Else I should print no. Okay, if you print yes and not print no, or otherwise it's no, because if solve it doesn't solve it, and of course it's no. So let's see how to do this function called solve. In solve, the first one is, of course, I have to look up this table. If in these tables, and see if I can jump to the next cell or not. Like for example, if the first one is 33, so you can't jump to any of them, because we don't have 33 in here in this table. So the first one is like I'm going to call this function and see if where can we jump to the next step. So I just leave a comment here, go to next step, or next jump, something like this. So I would have next steps equal to 5 next step, and because you have to give it the current value, right? That cell value. Like for example, the first one 1 1 is 3. So how am I going to get that one? So we have the table here called inputs. So in the inputs, I am going to get this value. So obviously that is the first item. The first item is 0. So inputs should be 0, and now also 0, because it should be 1 1, right? 1 1. So in R, so R, if R is the row, you should subtract 1, because the index is come from 1, and C subtract 1, and now you should got the next steps. So which should be you come over here to 3 and you look up 3. You should get these two. Go to 1 and 3 and 3 and 1. So we're gonna see that. So I'm gonna just print next step. Now I click run. Hold on, I may just do something like this. Print something like this, so I can separate them. I click run. Now you see I can just go to the next step. I look up the number 3, and I get this block. These two cells. The first one is 1 3. The second one is 3 1. And from here, so because it's a list, so I have to loop them. So I will do for cell in next steps. So you will print again cell, and now you should get you should get 1 3 1. But obviously if the cell is the first one, the cell 0 is equal to M, and cell 1 is equal to N, which means the last one, right? If you already go over here to the 9, 3 and 4, so it would be good. You have already solved the problem, so you can just return true, right? So that is for the last step. Obviously, if your cell, you jump to that one, like for example, if this one is not 3, it's just 12. If it's 12, so 12, it would be 3 4, and you go 3 by 4, and you can jump directly from 1 to here. Now you would have jumped over here. So that's why if you may return true, and so you can solve the problem. If not, and the tricky part is here. If not, you should go back to and so I add this one here. What does it mean? It means if this step is not the last cell, like 3 4, so you should go to the next step, right? You should go to the next step. So how are you going to go to the next step? So you put in this cell, the first one, the what I call is the row and the column, and you go back to call this function again. And if you can imagine, you just recursively calling this function until you go all the way to either return true, and if none of them match the case, you should return false, or you can say return none. It's up to you. So, but I use none here, but they are pretty much the same. But there's one case, like for example, if you jump, there's nowhere to jump. If, for example, if you have the key like 33, and you go back to look up your table, and it will just return none or false, whatever you say, and there should be nowhere to jump. So that's why this one might have this return is none, or is none. So what I'm going to do is just like if next steps is true, I'm going to do this. Otherwise I just like otherwise I just return false. It means I can't find it. So I'm going to run this one and see what happens. And it will show you that final answer is yes. And how we jump. So first we jump 1 3, and then the next one you jump 2 4, and finally it will jump to 3 4. And that's how we jump all the way to we found that because we jump 3 4, and we solve the problem. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes. You're going to finish this code, but obviously this code is not the perfect one. But anyway, again, you go to this website, this web page, and grab the code, and you put one function here called solve function, and we do it in a recursive way, because you are called this function called solve, and you're calling itself, like you inside here you're calling yourself, you go back to call solve. Okay, and don't forget that I changed the input to inputs because I don't want to mix with the input function, and later we will change this input to the real input. But for here, because I want to speed it up, and that's why I use 3 4 and manually put the input here. So what I want you to do, you just finish this code. Finish this code, this function, and see if you can figure out why it's called recursive and going to call itself, and go bad and bad and bad, something like this. And once you're done, please let me know. I'm just let me just minus this. So it would be smaller, but you should see all the code. And again, once you're done, please let me know and put a message in the chat box so we can move forward. Liga, you don't need to scroll up because these steps should be already in this page. So if you doesn't have the code here, I may just give it to you, and you click on the link, you should be able to grab the code. No, it's not here. So we just halfway, maybe almost. But the last thing I'm going to show you the panda. But this question I haven't fully solved it yet. Okay, but I want you to add this function, and I want you to understand how the recursive work. Like you come here, just go back to the cell. Why you just keep calling yourself? Go one step, second step, first step, jump all the way go to the end. Yeah, I also have a wireless mouse like this one from Amazon. It's this guy. It's cost me like uh, 30 bucks or 20 bucks, something like this. You can try that. All right. So, but for this solution, there's still one bug. If you remember what Aaron told you, there's one scenario. Like for example, you could be jumping to for this cell. For example, you jump to one, and then you jump to this one. You jump to here, but this one is jumping back to here, which causing your program will have the dead loop, like infinity loop, because they keep jumping with each other. Like let's say this one this one is this value is 3 and this one is 2 is 6. Let's say this one is 6, this value is 6 and this one is 4. So it will, when you jump from here and you jump to this one 4, and 4 will jump back to here, and this one will jump back to here. So which means your program will have the dead loop. Like for example, I change here. Let's see. I change. If you change 4, the second one to 6. Second one to 6. And this one to 4. And this one to 4. And if this will jump over to this one first. So what this means is like you jump here and it's also 4. And if this one is 4 and you will jump to here, so it could be 4. And now your program probably will get into that loop. So something like this. So in order to not jumping all the way like having this dead loop jumping back and forward, so there are two solutions. One is what Ali already in Ali's solution, he built up a table, or he built up a table or a list, and just saying if you jump over there and I will set the thing to be 1, so if solved in you already go there and I will set it to 1. If it is 1, then you shouldn't go back there. So something like this. So but here I just what I did is like I just remove the key. Like if you go here and you get the key, you come over this key, I just poke it up. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So instead of, I changed this function a little bit. So first I comment this one out. Comment this one out. And I will do first steps equal to tables. Instead of access the key directory, I use pop function. What the pop do is just like a gun. Like you have you fill up the bullet in your gun and you pull the trigger and it just boom. Now it just the bullet just come out. So here I just saying I have a pop the key. Now by default it might be just none. Okay, and you return steps. But obviously this one is the default value. If there's no key, we will return none. But we already test it out because make sure the key is in the table, so this value doesn't really matter. But I just keep it here for the good practice in case you forgot to put the default value for the pop. So I pop it out, I pop the key. Now you just pop, actually you pop up this value and put it in the step and return the steps. But when you use the pop, because the pop is like remove the key from this dictionary, these tables. So your tables just keep it just remove the key after you pop it out. So that's why once you find it, it will pop it out and you won't be able to go back again because it's already gone. So I call this one again. Oh, let me just clear this one. And now it will say no because obviously my program doesn't go to the end because I changed from 4 to to 3. So let me just change it back to 3. Now you click run, and now you go back to yes. But with this one, you fix the problem to the bug just jump back and forward all the time. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna save this, and you can come back here and grab this one and see how it works. And if you want to like to see how this one, how much point you can get, you should go to here, go to this link and submit it to this link and see how much point you can get. Okay, I think that's it for this one. But if you really want to finish it, and can you just write some code to do the inputs, to load the tables, load these tables in into M and N, and also the inputs. And if you're done with this solution, please make sure you send the answer to help@dataarea.ca. Okay, I want you to do like the homework, and the homework is like you finish this problem, solving this problem, like how could you get the input to the M, and how you could get the input to the N, and also the inputs. And you also finish this code and remove this print, remove this kind of print, because it's only for you to debug. And like me, it show you this, like the table, it show you this, unless you make some typo mistakes, and you can chase back and see what's going on with your program. Right? So I think that's it for J5 for the forward solution. If you guys still want me to cover the backward solution, also please send me an email and let me know. Okay, so I just add two lines here instead of return the tables directly. If you can use the pop function to pop the object, the dictionary key out from the dictionary, so it's gone. And now like what I told you, I really want you guys to think about the next class, because we already work on the CCC questions for a lot, and there's one way we can go with JavaScript, which is we can do JavaScript. If you haven't learned JavaScript, I can do JavaScript, or we can continue to with the Python with Panda 3D. So I haven't used this Panda 3D, but I want you to vote and what's our next step we should do in our class. And we can do Panda 3D or Pygame. We can have the Pygame. I'll do Pygame, but I think Pygame is a little bit old, because looks like a 2D version of game, like this kind of 2D game. But Pygame is, they have a lot of tutorial, like for example this kind of game, and you can learn it. Or if you want to do 3D, you can do 3D. Okay. Or if you want to go JavaScript, in R is for the data thing, so we are not going to do R, because unless you want to do some data like AI or things, so we might go R. But we can definitely go JavaScript. I don't know how much you know JavaScript. In since you already know Python, so there's nothing can stop you to learn JavaScript. It's just some syntax different. Most of the JavaScript looks like the Python, except there's no there's class, but there is different class. In Python, there's class, and we didn't cover that a lot. React is if you don't know JavaScript, you can use React. So there's no point to use React if you don't know JavaScript. So first, we might use. I will try. How about I try JavaScript for a little bit, like see if you guys already know the JavaScript or not. And I may quickly go through them. Yeah, or you can do. Let's see. You can do what? There's some JavaScript game here. JavaScript game, like the HTML5 game. And yeah, something like this. It's not that cool, but it's still like something like this. It's dumb, but it's also fun, right? Something like this. We can do this kind of thing with the canvas. Yeah, or we can do like 3 options. One option is we use the JavaScript. We go with JavaScript. The second one is Panda 3D, or we go back to the maybe Pygame, which is O. So yeah, we can also do HTML. So yeah, I'm not sure HTML would be too easy for you guys or not, but we can go HTML. HTML is just like some format, and you can go through this tutorial and spend 2 hours and finish this tutorial. So let's see, and yeah, so it looks like most of you guys can do HTML and JavaScript, so we will go with HTML and JavaScript. Unless you don't want it, and please let me know. Otherwise, I will yeah, you can talk to your parents, see what we go for next week. Okay, but of course I will go back to the CCC questions. Okay, so yeah, and it looks like everyone want HTML and JavaScript and a website, and which we do every time. And I also will have you to have the GitHub, like register a GitHub account, so you can put your website into the GitHub. Like my one is a GitHub account. So I have a website. To my GitHub. In my GitHub. Yeah, you can go my GitHub. There's a link, and you can go to the GitHub, like in the last class. But I think most of you guys already go through this GitHub tutorial, so I'm not sure we should go GitHub or not. But definitely we can go Panda 3D or Pygame or just HTML. So I will go, maybe next week we'll go back to HTML and JavaScript and see what how you guys think for one week. All right, so I think that's it for today, and let me know what you think, and you can send me an email, or you can talk to your parent and have them to talk to me. All right, that's it for today. Bye. Oh, one more thing for the homework. So what I want you to do, just continue to work on the J file. You change this part to the input, and then you test it out and see how it works. And of course, this solution won't help you to solve the get 15 points. So that's why you might come back to try this 3 and see how it works. So you can figure out, you can improve the solution and make it run faster and faster, because in Python you have to know a lot of trick in order to make it faster. Not like C++, it might be a lot faster than Python. But unfortunately, when in the competition, you have to think about those things. Okay, that's it for today, and see you next week. Okay, I open my Discord. If you have any question, you can ask me, or you can go join my Zoom and you can talk to me if you want. I have Zoom. Okay, that's what some say. I don't know what it means. So let me go to my Discord and see what happens. I have a question about Python. It has nothing to do with the class. One, two, three.